The music flows through Wayman Tisdale's giant body like a vibrant river, always has. It was there constantly as a child, there during his days as a three-time All-American at Oklahoma, during his 12-year NBA career, a faithful companion through the good and the bad.
Because I've always had that. That's what the rhythm, even to my playing a lot of times on the court, I would hear music and melodies all the time.
My brother and I, William and myself, and Wayman, we would play basketball, but Wayman was so in touch with doing everything else that he often missed the basketball. So he would start off playing basketball with us, and he was so easily distracted that in the middle of a game, he would leave the game and go play in the sandbox. And not much retained his attention except for music.
Oh my gosh, I remember we were going to training camp, and I remember all the guys had their extra pair of sneakers and maybe a couple of basketballs, and they had all their gear tied all up. And I came on the bus with a bass on my back one year, and oh boy, I hear Charles now. I can hear Charles now. Turn it down, Tiz. You're too loud. And I took it all knowing that I knew what I was gonna do.
Today, years after his final moments on a professional basketball court, the music continues. A soothing voice to the world. His albums, as eclectic as jazz can be, have sold millions and attracted the most ironic of fans. Country music legend and fellow Sooner Toby Keith, for one.
I found out he was a jazz musician. He started playing bass, so I started checking that out a little bit, seeing what he was doing. And he was a fan of mine, I was a fan of his stuff, and so we just hooked up. And after a few years of hanging out, we just decided, hey, we need to do something together. We kept talking about it, and then I was working out in my gym, and I heard this old Barry White song, and I could just hear Wayman playing bass over the top of it. So I called him up and I said, I think I got the song that we could have some fun with. And they heard it and listened to it, and they said, it's perfect. So that's how it all started, man. We went to his studio and cut the thing, and I've got my first jazz record out there.
But then in the middle of a very dark night, the song grew terribly sour. The simple act of walking down the steps changed his life forever.
I remember like it was yesterday. I was pretty much just 2:30 in the morning going to get my wife some water.
I heard this, and I was thinking, he did not fall. That was my first thought.
I took a little stumble that I thought I stumbled, and
I jump out of the bed and I go running, and I'm yelling Wayman and he's yelling Regina at the same time. And when I get there, he's just sitting on the step.
Pretty much my wife ran down the steps and said, did you fall? Did you break your leg? I'm like,
and he was looking, and I said, get up, get up, get up, you know? And so when he goes to get up, he yells.
And looked up, and part of my leg was over here, and the other part was over here. It just seemed like somebody took a baseball bat and just boom.
And so then I'm freaked out then, you know, and I'm like, what should I do? What should I do? I mean, I guess I should have known. He's, you know, and he was so calm. That's what I remember the most, is how calm he was. And so, you know, he said, call 911.
Got to the hospital, and when I woke up out of the surgery, because they just set the leg back, the leg had broke completely in half. And after months and months of, you know, testing and all that, that's when they found out that there was a tumor, and the bone had pretty much disintegrated, just eaten away from the cancer all the way through the bone. And it just was brittle at that point, and it just broke in half while I was walking down the steps. And I mean, literally in just like that, my life changed.
The diagnosis was bone cancer, a cyst behind his knee, and thus began an excruciating and ultimately futile 18-month war.
You're not, when you're sitting around waiting for that, you're not expecting to hear the C word of anything. You know, I'm thinking, okay, I have to do a couple of things. I got to maybe go in and operate and get it out. You know, you're not hearing, 8 weeks of chemo and sickness and all this other stuff, and then an 8-hour surgery to remove the cyst at first.
I would just walk out of the room and just cry, but I wouldn't do it in front of him. But there were some times when we both cried.
For the first time in a long time, the music stopped. I didn't have the music, didn't have the drive to even go into the studio because I didn't know what was going on with me. I was more concerned about that than what note I was playing.
But during the second round of chemotherapy, Tisdale moved back into the studio and applied a different salve to his wounds.
I worked throughout the whole time. Once I got back into the music, that never left me. I would go back in, finish a different type of record. That keeps me going.
I can't even tell you how, I'm the biggest baby when it comes to going to the doctor. So he took it just like I figured he would take it, just like I knew he would take it.
You go through all of this, and you get through it, and then they come along and say, you're not done yet.
It was like 10 weeks that I was just literally just sicker than a dog. And at the end of that period, for the doctors to tell me it's not working, that was tough. And then for them to tell you, you have to amputate your leg. Now, how do you gear up for that? You thought you went through two of the hardest things you ever did. Really and truly, the amputation was easier than everything else I had been through.
They took his right leg just above the knee, and the man who was once one of the most gifted leapers in the world had to learn to walk all over again.
I'm the type of person that not only do I want to know how to learn how to walk again, but I'm going to master this thing where it's not even a thought.
You know, as a pro athlete, going through something debilitating like this is you'd expect to be a big mood swing change. You never saw that with Wayman, which is a little odd. But he seems to me to be pretty genuine with, hey, this isn't going to stop me. I'm going to go on. Like, you know you lost your leg, right? And he's like, yeah, this is just a roadblock in my life.
It's only been a few months, baby steps. The prosthesis has had to be rebuilt twice to accommodate the astonishing progress Wayman has made.
This is the 45. Yeah.
This is the one we used last time.
Wow, look at that. It just fall right off of you, man.
Yeah.
Through it all, minus that one desperate, plaintively quiet period, the music has been his savior.
At night, please don't you worry about the things that you go through.
It got me through the death of my father. It got me through many nights on losing teams. It got me through this. It's the mental warfare, man. It's the test of wills. Are you gonna let it get you, or am I gonna get it? And this let me know that, hey, I know what type of warrior I am, and I can make it through.